What is good, Hellgrazers? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Again, this week has been all trying to unlock every single blueprint there is for every single gun, as we've been doing it for a while now, of course. But this week has been purely dedicated to unlocking every single last one. I've seen a lot of people ask me about the attachments on some of the guns, some of my guns. So I realized that there's a huge demand for actually the attachments on the guns. Apparently, a lot of people are just joining Warzone, so a lot of the older the blueprints that are resurfacing now as gun metas are always shifting. And since we have a lot of Call of Duties on the Warzone, of course, a lot of people are wondering which Call of Duty offers the best guns. And a lot of times, some of the guns are resurfacing. And when they resurface, a lot of people have who had Warzone back in the day have some sick aesthetic guns that a lot of new people are wondering how to get and what the attachments are for each and every blueprint. So that's why we document those, and whichever one you find, if you manage to find the name for it, just put it on my channel and you will find exactly what you need, how to unlock it, and all the attachments for it. Today's topic is a gun that we talked about extensively on this channel. It is the Milano. Now the Milano, as I mentioned earlier in a previous video, when it first came out, it was a beast in multiplayer, but not a lot of people knew it. Pretty much I was the only one using it in multiplayer. I think it was, well, I found it so good that I actually got a golden in the 1 week trial for Cold War multiplayer. That's how good the gun is. At the same time, everybody was using the MAC-10. I do believe the MAC-10 had a huge recoil in multiplayer, so I did not use that gun. But I did not know that a lot of people knew that integrated into Warzone, the Milano was shit in Warzone, but the MAC-10, which was shit in multiplayer, was amazing. It was the meta for a long time in Warzone. Of course, now I'm still talking about a few years ago when Cold War was the main Call of Duty in Warzone. So the MAC-10 did last a long time, and honestly, all throughout the 6 seasons of Cold War, Cold War's domination of Warzone, the MAC-10 was, and always will be pretty much a solid, very solid weapon in Warzone. Of course, with time, I think around like end of Season 4, beginning of Season 5, the Milano rose to fame. It became a very solid weapon. I think it dominated all of Season 5. It even became better than the MAC-10 before it got a pretty significant nerf in the end of Season 5. So the last season, Season 6, really no one was using it. But yeah, it got for our whole season. It was pretty much very dominant. I think even till now, it's pretty much a good weapon, especially since it's the SMG that actually is great at long distance. It doesn't have that much recoil at long distance, so a lot of people use it with the 3 times scope and end up demolishing people. I myself used it and ended up killing a lot of people. I first discovered it in Plunder when I just went in there to kill people. Sometimes I take a break from Battle Royale and I end up on Plunder, and then I take a gun and try it out in Battle Royale, and it either makes it or break it, but it did actually do a lot of damage, so I kept it for a while. I got a nice bunch of wins, which you probably saw on the channel if you're watching the channel. If not, just check a few of the wins and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now the equivalent of the Milano is the Uzi in Modern Warfare. So a lot of people start also using the Uzi, and a lot of the Uzi wasn't used for a long time. And then when the Milano came, and people were like, you know what, if the Milano's good, let's see the equivalent in Modern Warfare. And the Uzi came out, and the Uzi was actually very solid. It came to notoriety around the same time that the Milano came in. It's got the same amount of fire rate, it's got the same amount of same shape, to be honest. Like right now, if you look at this blueprint, the Glacial polish, which we're going to be talking about today, the legendary blueprint, it does look like the Milano, but it's actually the Uzi from the Modern Warfare gun list. So this is a legendary blueprint. Season 4 was a few years old. Season 4 pre-integration of Cold War and Vanguard into Warzone blueprint. Now, as you can see, just before we even look at the attachments, you already have that 3 times scope, and that's actually around the same time that the 3 times scope was being used on the Milano. On the Uzi it came out, so it's not really a coincidence. Same thing for the Milano. Everybody started using the HG suppressor, and here we're getting this huge ass suppressor. So I think they tried to mimic the same thing, but they were like, you know what, let's give the Uzi a bit more attention, and let's give it this sick aesthetic blueprint, and give it some significant boost, and that's exactly what happened. So as far as the weapon details, you can see that the accuracy is high, the range is sky high. The mobility does suffer a tiny bit, probably because of all the attachments, but honestly it's pretty much worth it. If you have to sacrifice time and mobility to increase your control, drastically increase your accuracy and range, it is definitely worth it. Now, as far as the how to unlock this gun, now of course this was unlocked in Season 4, when Modern Warfare was the Cold War Call of Duty. So it's pretty much old. You had to level up the Battle Pass. That's the only reason you unlocked it. So yeah, if you join the game anytime after that, you possibly do not have access to this blueprint, unless of course it makes it to the event, the Blueprint Blitz event, which is an event that you can access, or you can actually unlock previous seasons' most sought after blueprints. As I mentioned in previous videos, if you have any other questions regarding that event, check out my channel. I have a video dedicated for that. Alright, enough about that. Let's take a look at the attachments. Now we have the monolithic suppressor. It's exactly what we thought it is, for that muzzle, which is the best muzzle you can have on any of the Modern Warfare guns. You have the FSS Carbine Pro Barrel, which is responsible for that huge amount of range to the gun. You have the TAC Laser. TAC Laser is great for that hip fire accuracy. Now this one is a bit weird because you have the canted hybrid optic and you have the TAC Laser. Honestly, they try to make it like a short range and a long range weapon. That's why you have that hybrid optic. You can switch up between the close range and long range. I'm not a big fan of these optics, but some people do like it, especially if you're trying to run Ghost. Maybe you don't really want to be seen, you'd rather have Ghost, so you could use this gun as a close range to long range. Some people like it. It's more it's easier that way. You just have to make sure that you have a lot of ammo, because if you're using both ranges with the same gun, you're going to be running through ammo quite quickly. Nonetheless, it's very powerful at close range or long range, so it would make sense to use it for both. And then you have the FSS close quarter stock. That's actually supposed to increase the mobility, but I'm assuming all the other attachments are the ones that are decreasing the mobility quite a bit. So it is a very nice aesthetic gun, to be honest. I mean, you can always rely on this if you're trying to level up the Uzis. I mean, the Uzi right now it's a ground loot. You know, it's a ground loot for a long time. So it's not supposed to be that good. But honestly, even as ground loot, you can always take down one guy with you before dying. So if you have it with all these attachments, I'm assuming you could do a lot more damage. Let's look at the HD 3D cutscene for this blueprint, and then we'll talk a bit more about it. Alright, so that is pretty much it for this blueprint. If you have any other questions regarding this gun or even the Milano, please let me know in the comment section below. I will reply to you guys as quick as possible. As far as the blueprints or attachments, if you have any other blueprint in mind, please check out my channel. If you have it in mind but don't actually know the name, even that, drop a comment. I might recognize, since I'm doing a video on every single blueprint, I might recognize the blueprint and directly to the video. A lot of times people try to explain to me what the blueprint is because they see it on a guy who killed them on a battle royale, or they find it on the ground but forget where it is. Till now I've managed to find every single one. Of course, it could be that I don't understand which one you're looking for, but if I do, it would be much easier for you guys to find attachments, and probably I'll be happy for helping you guys. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and enjoy the footage that's coming up next, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Take it easy, have fun, and thanks again.
Movement on activate. Scout enemy target.
Negative shot.
Enemies have captured the domination. Enemy soldier incoming. Domination points are active. Go capture them. Friendly advance UAV marking. Time's up. Move your right. Listen now, team is close to victory. Enjoy the victory, soldier. Might not be so lucky next time.